All right, so the pallets that I will be using to make my doghouse and little fenced-in enclosure, which will hopefully eventually become a goat house. So I'm going to use a little bit bigger of a pallet. So, and actually, if you can find you a pallet like this one is a beast. Super thick, almost a complete floor basically that this is going to be. Then I'll use these two for the sides. Probably that one for the back. I don't know about the front yet. And then here's a nice piece of board that a neighbor of mine and myself got out of one of those construction dumpsters where they were remodeling a metal building. So that will be the sides and hopefully the roof. I do have this weird piece of metal that I don't really know what it is. It's like it's a thin sheet metal, but it's one solid piece that I can probably bend and use for the roof. I don't know, we'll see. But so that's what I'm going to do, and then let's go over and take a look at where I'm going to put this. All right, so this will be the area I believe where I'm going to do it, like right in here. I think right about here probably will be the dog house and or goat house, and then I'll have a fence that'll kind of come all the way around and, you know, over the, I don't know, you can't see, over the side over here. Originally, you can see where that grass is missing. That's where I had my rabbit hut pen, which is this thing right over here. Well, the dogs finally had their way. Tied twice now. Had 2 rabbits the first time. And actually a windstorm blew the thing over as I didn't have it tied down properly. And the dogs scared the rabbits up underneath a structure. And then I didn't know this was a thing, but they can die from shock. And that's what happened. Neither one of them died, but they ended up dying from shock, unfortunately. Then I had 3 more rabbits. And then, I don't know, within a couple of days, they managed to rip one out of here. So I secured it all back down. And then the rabbits chewed the zip ties off the front door, got out, and they got another one that way. And then I found one all the way down at the end of the road, hiding in that downed cedar tree at the front of my property. And I put him, I don't know, I think it was a him, back in there, had him for, I don't know, maybe a month. And then somehow they busted out, the dogs busted out the side of it and got that one. So I am going to give rabbits another go. But before I do that, I'm going to build an actual structure that can sit up off the ground and be nice and secure. And then it'll be easy to collect their poop so that I can use it for compost, and I can use it for gardening and stuff like that. So this is where everything's going to go. And what I'll end up doing with that guy is I'm going to end up repurposing that. You can see it got all bent up from the storm, but whatever. I'll probably wrap it in plastic and end up using it for a greenhouse. So no love lost there. It'll be fine. And then I can use all the chicken wire from it to put around the fence on the dog/goat enclosure. All right. All right, so looking at this, I can already tell that while, yes, it would be big enough for a dog, probably too big, it is not going to be big enough for a couple of goats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find, I know I don't have another pallet that's as nice as this one is all across the bottom like that. So hopefully I'll find one that doesn't have that many gaps that I could fill in, and I'll just extend it out to make it 2 pallets wide. And then hopefully that'll be tall enough. And if, you know, I angle the, angle the roof like that, well, not that high, but whatever, you get it, that it should be tall enough for the goats. So let me go see what I got. All right, so yeah, I'm thinking this will work a little bit better. Now, I'll probably have to move a few of these boards around. I don't know how big little goat feet are, but I wouldn't want them to fall through the cracks and hurt themselves. So what I'll do is I'll pull some of these up, move them back, and then I'll probably pull apart some of the other junkier pallets and then cut the pieces to fit so that there won't be really any gaps like this one. I mean, there's some small gaps, but clearly not big enough for their feet to fall through. All right. That's what we're doing. So there we go. So now, I mean, there's still some small holes here, but you know, I'll have the side going there, so it'll cover up most of that. And then of course there'll be some, you know, hay or whatever thrown in here too, so hopefully that will help. But I think the floor itself is done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fix these two pallets together so that they are one piece. This is going to get real heavy real fast. All right, so I think I decided this, like every other structure that I built, is going to be a lean-to. So the roof is going to start, you know, here and just go down to the other side in one direction. I think that'll make it easier. Well, I mean, I know it'll make it easier than doing a peaked roof, especially with pallets. So this will probably, yeah, I'm going to leave this as my opening. I'll put something right here, of course, so it'll go up to the top so I can put a support across there. And then since the opening's on this side here, I'll probably make some kind of hinged door or something in this section just to make it easier to clean out, so I won't have to climb inside there. I'll be able to get most of it from one of those two openings. Maybe. Haven't decided, but I think that's the plan as of right now. Well, this is about as far as I can get for the moment without any either 2x4s from the store, or I guess what I'm probably gonna have to do is cut a tree down and mill some 2x4s. So, I mean, I need to do that anyways because I need to get working on the kitchen. So many projects. So, I guess that's what I'm gonna go do. Alright, so you see here I got the board that I milled, so I'll be able to finish the frame here. Now I'm going to cut this piece to fit in this section. I'm still trying to decide on whether or not I want to make this into a door, just so it'll be easier to clean this side. Since that side I'll leave some of it open for the door, so I don't know, we'll see. I don't know how much I'll be able to get done. It's been raining on and off all day today, so got a little break. Can't waste the time, gotta get to it. Alright, well sorry, didn't realize the camera view was way off. Not that it really matters, you can see what I was doing, you don't need to see my head anyways. So, you got to see the gist of it. So let's see what we can do next. So I only have one 2x4 left from what I milled. Because I mean, remember I only milled that one piece of wood. Wait. Start over. So I only have one 2x4 right now, and then I'm gonna have to go mill some wood. But this is actually the other half of this one that was 6.5 foot. So I really don't like wasting one this big, but it's what I have right now, so I can at least get the measurement for the angles that I need, and then I'll be able to cut it down to length, because I will overhang the front and back just slightly. That way I can figure out how long I need to go cut the next piece, because I still have some more 6.5 foot wood down there that I can mill, but this is probably more than likely going to be a little bit over 5 foot. So then I'll just cut a new section and I'll mill that wood, and then I'll be able to use those for something else down the road, maybe for the kitchen as well. So let's see. Now, I don't really know how to do this whole thing. There's probably some kind of formula that, you know, carpenters have, or people that work in construction, to get these angles, or like maybe a little angle thing. I've seen those things that bend, but I don't have one of those. So how I do this is I just kind of hang it off the edge like this, and then I draw basically how I want to do it. And that's what I'll cut. Well, looks like the battery's dead. Well, we'll get it charged and then we'll finish this piece. And then this one will be the template for the other, I don't know, probably 1, 2, maybe 4 or 5 more, I don't know. What's up, everybody? All right, today we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna collect. So you see, this is one of my piles of first and last cuts that I have. There's another one down in the woods. So hopefully we can get enough of the thinner ones. As you can see, sometimes during my inexperience, I don't know if you can tell, that's really kind of thick. I probably could, well, I know I could have got a whole nother slab out of that. Whereas some of these other ones that are buried in here, like this one, they're a lot thinner. So those are the ones we're going to use, especially since we're making this out of pallets. Oh, this is for the goat shed, by the way. Especially since we're making it out of pallets, there's not a lot of support to nail into. Like, I don't have a lot of 2x4s in there. In fact, I may, depending on how heavy this gets with all of these, I may have to add some supports in the center somewhere. So I may have to mill some wood for that. But I'm going to have to mill wood anyways for the beams for the roof. So right now we're going to collect as many of these as we can. And we'll take them over there, and once we get a nice, decent pile, then we'll move on to the next part. I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. Look at the butterfly. All right, so you can either stand there and hold that, and come over and help. It's going to be a lot of work. No, just be careful. It's really windy, so don't get blown over. All right, so this is where things get a little interesting. I'll show you. As this wood starts to dry, especially if you don't nail it down, you probably can't see it too much there, it starts to warp and twist. You can really see it down on this end as it really starts to twist up there. So, I mean, I could probably still get a really good section out of the middle, especially for the sides where it's shorter over there. And I'm gonna try to do this with my circular saw, because this wood is really thin, so it'll probably work. I could easily rip it with my chainsaw, but I've already brought them all over here. So I should have done that first if I was gonna use the chainsaw. If not, I can get the table saw that my dad got me. Again, thanks, Dad, for the table saw. So I'm thinking, if anything, what I may do is rip one side with the circular saw on all of these, and then I could actually measure and do the other side with the table saw. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's see how easy this is with the circular saw. Alright. Well, that's one down. Now I got a lot more to rip. And it looks like I probably will have to end up using my table saw, because that circular saw, I don't know. Well, one, I only have one battery, so that won't last very long. And two, that thing likes to overheat. So either I overheat and I can't use it, or the battery dies and I can't use it. So let's just see how far we can get. Yep, overheated. See, it's ridiculous. I think it'd be better than that. Cut what? 2 pieces of wood? My saw's overheated. Alright, so since my circular saw is overheating, as you can see, I went ahead and got my table saw. So hopefully in that time frame the battery was able to cool off a little bit, at least enough so I can get the side cut and maybe the other cut down there, and then we'll figure out what to do. Let's see. Alright, not too bad, we got that one. I had a third sawhorse right about now. I do, but they're being used. Let's see how we can do this. I'll just do it on the ground. Table saw. I had to run extension cord all the way over to my solar shed, but whatever, I got it. So let's see how I'm going to be able to do this, because it curves up. Maybe I can get the blade high enough. I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, if any of you guys out there know what this thing is for, I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know. I mean, the bar goes straight the whole way. So what's the purpose of this little thing? Anybody know? I don't know. I think I'm going to take it off because it gets in the way. I'm trying to do longer things anyways. know about you, but that worked out much better than I thought it would. I am happy with that. Alright. See, at least now the other side we can actually flip over and do the right way. Oh, about 7¼ inches is where we need to be. Up like it says. Works for me. Oh yeah. Now that was a lot easier. Let's see if we can get 4 foot out of the other side, because that's how long the side of that is. Might get a little thin on the one side, but you know. Oh no. And that's way out here. That would be so thin. But I mean, I'm not going to waste it, so what the heck? Might as well use it. Thin or not, at least it's a piece. Then again, I could go at an angle. Since the top's going to go at an angle, I could kind of angle this a little bit to match it. Otherwise, I'll have to cut crazy angled pieces later. I don't know. Let's see. I'll put my saw. I could probably go pretty wide, but in the off that this, you know, the bark may peel off. I don't know. I don't know if the bark will stay on forever, but if it does peel off, then I'll lose about that much on either side, about 1 inch on this side, about 1/2 inch on this side. So I don't know. Alright, so now that we got a few of these done, let's go ahead and get them up here, see how it looks. How you doing, big boy? Sorry about the wind, hopefully I could talk over it, but I think it's coming together all right. As you see, one thing I didn't account for when I was cutting these at an angle was this right here. So what I will do on the other side And what I've done in the past, and I don't know why I didn't do this, is I would kind of just cut them longer, and then I'll come back with my chainsaw and just zoop straight down the line. That way this kind of junk won't happen. But being that this is just, you know, for dogs and or goats, I don't think they're gonna care. You see, on this side I will have to come back with the chainsaw anyways, because they're gonna stick out a little bit on the bottom, whereas on that side they're too short on the bottom. So, and one side is coming together pretty nice, I think. See how this is how I would typically do it. See how it overhangs the edge here all the way down. That way I can take my chainsaw and just cut straight down and get a lot cleaner of an edge on that.